Hi, welcome back to the Leading Yourself podcast. We are officially kicking off season number 2 of this podcast, and I can't be more grateful for this opportunity to fulfill my personal purpose. This year, as part of my New Year reflection, I picked a word to define my life in 2020. And probably you will not be surprised with my choice. My word for 2020 is impact. I actually were hesitant between 3 different words, but impact was the first one that came to my mind and the one that just felt right. Making an impact is very important to me. I am driven to make an impact in every aspect in my life, in the people around me, in everything that I do. And impact is one of my biggest motivators. Is this word that inspired me to start this podcast? Is my drive to make an impact what pushes me to be better every day and to help others do the same? So I thought it would be just appropriate to start 2020 talking about impact and sharing with you my perspectives on what that means to me and how to go about making an impact in any and all aspects of your life. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. The word impact and my drive and desire to make an impact is nothing new. I can't really remember when it started or where it came from. Maybe it has always been inside of me, or maybe it has been influenced by seeing others around me making an impact in me, in their families, in others around them, in their work, or in the world. I used to believe that for me to be able to make a positive and lasting impact, I needed to do big things, like big in bold and capital letters. Things like stopping world hunger, or I used to believe that I needed to have a certain title or level to be able to influence others, or that I had to be a famous writer or public speaker for others to listen to my message and for me to be able to impact other people's lives. I've come to realize that we make an impact every day, whether we realize it or not. We make an impact with our actions, our words, the way we treat others, even with the things that we decide not to do or say. Sometimes we can make a big impact in someone even without realizing it. I remember a few years ago, someone reached out to me, someone that I had met in Honduras early in my career. I remember this person as a very hardworking person. She came from humble beginnings, and her dream was to go to school, get a degree and a good job, so she was able to give her family the life that she always wanted for her. Years after my last interaction with her, she contacted me through LinkedIn, and she sent me the most touching an impactful message that I've ever received. She shared with me that she had achieved her dream. She graduated from business school. She found a job. She, at that time, just got promoted as a store manager, and she had moved her family from Honduras to the U.S., where she was now living and being able to fulfill her dream. She wrote me to say thank you. She said that she was ready to give up on her dream when we used to work together years ago. She thought that she was not meant to or deserving of going to school and getting a degree or having a good job. because it was just not who she was. There was no one in her family that had done that before, and therefore she thought that she was not meant to do it either. But she said that it was something that I'd said to her over 10 years ago, what pushed her to not give up and pursue her dream. Whoa. I can't even remember what is that I told her back then. And I felt bad about that, but I was so happy and so excited for her. And I felt personally so fulfilled. Reading her message made my day, and a deep impact. It impacted me so much that I still remember it, even though this was a few years back. Her message made me realize that I am capable to make a big impact, like with bold and capital letters, that I can do that every day through my interactions with others, through what I do and what I say and what I decide. I was recently listening to a podcast with Tanya Dalton. She was talking about the blast radius, and it really hit me. She was talking about how small changes can make big impact, how small things that we do can have a far-reaching effect. She shared a statistic that blew my mind. She shared that it is estimated that each person touches the lives of about 80,000 people. Yes, 80,000 people. As I was listening to this, I thought, there's no way this is me. But when she broke it down, it completely made sense. She explained as follows. Each person lives in average about 78.3 years. So with an assumption that every person interacts with 3 new people each day, obviously, there's going to be days that you interact with more and days that you interact with less. And with the year having 365 days, simple math, each person can potentially interact with 80,000 people through their lives. I'm all about numbers and statistics, and this one, as I said, really hit me. And it got me thinking, if I can impact 80,000 people in my life, or potentially even more than that, what type of an impact do I want to make? Because remember, we make an impact in others whether we realize it or not. I know that for myself, the answer was clear. I want to make a positive impact. I want to be able to help others become a better version of themselves, as I become a better version of myself. In 40 or 50 years from now, I want to look back and feel that I was able to make a positive impact in those that I love and those that I never had the chance to meet in person. I want to be able to look back and feel proud that I made an impact in the organization that I work for, in the community that I live, and in the world. I know now that I have the ability to impact my life and the lives of those around of me, and that even the most little things can make an impact beyond what I can imagine. I know that I can, just like you, be a catalyst of change that is more productive to act and try to make a change rather than sit and complain about the things that I don't like or I don't agree with. The question is, how can I make that type of an impact? So as part of my 2020 reflection, I spent some time thinking about what is that I can do to make that impact that I want. And I came up with 15 things that I can start doing right now to start making an impact in 2020 and beyond. I'm going to start by sharing some simple, small things. Some of these can come across as insignificant, but remember, everything that we do has the potential to make an impact. We'll get into bigger things later, but let's start small. Number 1, smile more. I remember having a manager who used to tell me that I needed to smile more. Back when I started my career, I thought that I needed to come across as professional. I still do, but my vision of how that looked like was very different back then. I thought I needed to be sitting straight, being formal and firm and serious for others to take me seriously. The truth is, a genuine smile is contagious and it can change someone's day. You can still come across as professional and be a good leader and smile. Now, I often get the feedback that I'm always smiling. And every time someone tells me that, it reminds me of that manager telling me that I needed to smile more. And I'm so grateful for his feedback. Number 2, help others. Helping others gives us a sense of connection and fulfillment and can have a big positive impact in those that we help, even if the things that we help them with are very small and insignificant in our eyes. But you never know how that help can come across to that other person and how important that little thing that you think you're helping them with can be a really big deal for the other person. Number 3, remember someone's name. This is coming from someone who is terrible at remembers people's names. But when someone calls me by my name, it makes me feel good. And I want to make others feel just that way. When you remember someone's name, especially someone that you haven't interacted with much or in a long time, that tells the person that you care. And that can make someone's day. Number 4, do something that put a smile on other people's faces. The most important part of this one is that you do it genuinely. Get to know the people around you and identify what could put a smile in their faces. The other day, I was at Target and I saw this cute cup with a cat on it. When I saw it, it reminded me of someone in my team who is a proud cat mom. I didn't think it twice and I got her the cup just because. Seeing the smile in her face made my day, and I think I maybe made hers. Number 5, send a thank you note. This is something that I started doing not long ago. When I started incorporating gratitude in my morning routine, I realized that I'm grateful for others and for what others do. So I decided not to keep that for myself, but to share that gratitude. So at the end of each week, I stop and think about someone I'm grateful for or someone who deserves a little recognition for something that they did or they accomplished that week, and I send them a note. Sometimes it's not a note, but it's a text or me walking to their desk and saying thank you or good job. It doesn't matter how you go about it. The important thing is that you share your appreciation for others. It might look as a small, insignificant thing, but you'll never know how big of an impact it can have on someone. I tend to get nice messages back, so I know that it has a positive impact in others. Number 6, encourage others. We all have good and bad days. We all at one point are ready to give up on something, someone, or even ourselves. And a few genuine words of encouragement can make the world of a difference for someone that is ready to give up. Be that person that others look back and say, because of you, I did not give up. Number 7, share your knowledge and talents. Many times we underestimate what we know and the talents that we have. Don't be selfish and share them with the world. You sharing can help someone and it can create a domino effect. Think about how, where, and with who you can share what you know and your talents and what type of an impact it can make. Number 8, give more. Always give more of what is expected of you. Learn to become more aware of what is happening around you and what others are expecting and needing, and go above and beyond. Don't limit yourself to a title, to a role, a place on the org chart. Always give more than what others expect of you. This applies not only at work, but also in your personal life. And in order for you to give more to others, you need to fill your cup first. You can't pour anything out of an empty cup. For me, for example, in order to share with you more content in this podcast around leadership and personal development, I need to learn new things, try new things, experience, reflect, read, listen to podcasts, continuously invest in myself so I can fill my cup first, so then I can share that content and those experiences with you. Number 9, share your dreams, goals, and passions. When we see others doing something, we are most likely to start doing it ourselves. I started this podcast after having listened to hundreds of podcasts and seen others making an impact through their podcast. Since I started my podcast, many people have reached out to me and say that they have tried or incorporated things in their lives that they've heard me sharing in one of the episodes of this podcast. Many people have already joined me in living our best lives in 2020 and have kickstarted their journey as a result of listening to this podcast and seeing me do the things. When you share your dreams and your goals and your passions, you can create a domino effect. Even if you just inspire or touch one person, that person might inspire and touch other person. And it's the next thing you know, you have directly or indirectly inspired and touched and impact thousands of people. Number 10. Find your purpose and leave it. I was recently reading to the book The Greatest You by Trent Shelton. In chapter 2 of his book, he talks about purpose. There is one phrase that he says that really resonated with me. He says, "You were created on purpose, for a purpose, and you are purpose." You are purpose. You might not have discovered yet what your purpose is, but I can guarantee you we all have one. Purpose has nothing to do with a position or a title or how much money we accumulate. Your purpose is not about you, but rather about what and how you can make an impact through your abilities and your talents. It's about how you can make a better world for others around you. Your purpose defines who you are. It reflects your passions and your values and provides clarity around what to do, what goals and dreams to pursue, and what impact you can make. So, find a purpose that goes beyond you, through which you can be of service to others. It will be through living your purpose that you'll be able to make the greatest impact, one that will not only help others around you, but at the same time will leave you most fulfilled. Number 11, be authentic and share your viewpoints and opinions. You can make a big impact by being honest, transparent, and by sharing your opinions and points of view. The more points of view that we get into an idea or a discussion or a project or a team, the better that idea, discussion, project, or team will be. Don't be afraid of sharing your ideas. You never know how that idea, that point of view, that thought can impact the outcome and how the outcome can impact others. In the same way, you need to be open for other people's ideas, points of view, and perspectives to increase the impact of your project, your idea, or the discussion that you're having. Number 12, never settle in. Always focus on what it can be. Always strive for more. Always believe things can be better. You can be better and others can be better. And always pursue the betterment of yourself, others, and the world around you. Number 13, bring people along with you. As you grow, as you advance, make sure that you inspire, help, support, mentor, and uplift others with you. Number 14, volunteer and give back. Find opportunities to give back to the community by volunteering at organizations, schools, church events. Try to find those that connect with your purpose. It can also be a fun team building opportunity to bring your team at work, your friends, or your family along. There's so many opportunities out there to get involved, to volunteer, and to give back. You don't know where to start? Check out your kids' school. If you have kids, your local library, or just Google it. Hundreds of different options will pop up. And I'm sure you'll find one that fits your talents, strengths, passions, and your purpose. Donating a few hours of your time, while for you may feel like nothing, I guarantee you that the impact that you will be making will be unproportionately larger than the time that you put in. Number 15, leverage your existing network and your influence. A lot of times we don't even get started because we get hung up with the fact that we want to make a big impact, that we want to impact hundreds or thousands of people. The truth is that in order to impact that many people, you need to start one person at a time. So look at your inner circle. Look at the people that are closest to you, those that you already have developed a relationship, those that trust you, those that you're able to already influence, and start there. Go back to your purpose and start working on your purpose within your inner circle. You will be amazed how, with a little bit of patience and lots of consistency, sooner than later, that inner circle is going to expand and grow because you would have created a domino effect. That few people in your initial inner circle that you were able to impact will have the power to influence and impact others in their own inner circles. And that's how that inner circle is going to start to grow. And that one person that you impact, one person at a time, will soon become those hundreds or thousands that you were hoping for in the very beginning. The key is to get started. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Just get started and focus on one person at a time. Never minimize the impact that you can make even with the smallest actions, even if you only are able to impact one person. One great example of this was the Pay It Forward chain that started in Florida with a man who paid for the coffee on the car behind him on the drive-thru on a Starbucks. He started a Pay It Forward chain that lasted 10 hours and impacted 457 people. It only took that one person paying for one coffee. He was only intending to impact one person, the person behind him. And that ended up impacting 457 people. So in 2020, I want to invite you not to just focus on the things that you want to do, but think about the impact you can make to others through those projects, activities, initiatives, goals that you are going to be working on this year. Never underestimate the power of your words and your actions. And remember that you're making an impact whether you realize it or not. So decide what type of impact is that you want to make. As always, I hope that you liked today's episode. I hope that you found the tips that I shared today helpful and inspiring. If you liked today's episode, I'm going to ask you one more time. Please go to iTunes and leave me a review. You will make my day. Also, make sure that you share this episode and this podcast with anyone that you think can benefit from today's content. And with that, I wish you a great start of the decade. I hope that you achieve all your goals and all your dreams this year, and that as you do so, you create a positive and lasting impact in those around you. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you again on another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast.